Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Raphan Reviews. Here is again a continuing series on Zayt's performance in FNCS Invitational Week 2. In this video, we are going to look at the first 7 games of Zayt's Week 2. In those 7 games, he got 0 kills in the first 6, 1 in the 7th, does not place inside the top 10. And despite that, he had the mental toughness to come back in Game 8, get a win with 4 kills. So I want to take a look at the first 7 games, focusing on the area where he dies, see if there's things he could have done better, and see if we can learn how he keeps that mental toughness to persevere and come out with the win in Game 8. Let's hop into Game 1. So we find Zayt taking a med kit, 55 builds remaining in the 6 smoothing zone. Still 29 alive, no kills. So he is getting some placement for this game, but does not end up making it to the top 10. Let's see what happens. He is rotating. Moving to the dead side again, consistently something we see with Zayt. So we find Zayt having just moved to the dead side, getting sprayed despite being on the dead side. Doesn't get to full health, gets cracked, and really got attacked by multiple parties there. He didn't have the mats to full tarp, and a couple of parties attacking him, not having the time to heal, is what ends up costing him in the first game of day 2. Alright, let's check out game 2, where he dies essentially off spawn. Alright, so we see Zayt dropping in game number 2. Leroy beating him to the top, so he goes down. Gets a burst AR, not the gun you particularly want to see. Leroy follows him, just SMGs him. Not a lot Zayt could do there. Alright, let's check out game 3. He does survive 10 minutes, but doesn't break top 50. And that's a common theme for games 3, 4, and 5. We find Zayt rotating into a pretty far southeast zone 1. Zone 2 has shown up. He's taking some storm. Coming out here, boxing up near the edge of zone. So he is full HP here. Not too many players near him. And he has been spotted by a player to his south. And Zayt does not realize that he's been spotted. That player's probably got him in... Ooh! I was gonna say the AR sights, but no. The heavy sniper sights does hit the headshot. Again, not a lot Zayt can do there. There are gonna be some deaths in solos where no matter how good you are, you're gonna just die. Unfortunate. Let's check out what happens in game 4. So in game 4, we see Zayt having a pretty long off-spawn fight with Polarized near the Shadow Enclave. He has the disguise on. I'm guessing Polarized is not, based on how the henchmen are reacting. And Zayt seems pretty committed to this fight. Polarized has been damaged, but does have an opportunity to heal. Neither really getting a tag there. Zayt gets the wall back, but Polarized boxing up, does not want to go down easily. They both tag each other a bit. Neither really seems to have a clear advantage here. And Zayt's getting pretty aggressive. You know, seems to really want this. Gets hit fairly hard there, hits him back. Ooh, a hard hit there and gets hit by Polarized, who had about 60 HP. There I want to say you could maybe disengage or take it a bit slower, but 2 more tags from the SMG, perhaps, and Polarized dies there, and Zayt gets exactly what he wants from that fight. So far be it from me to really question Zayt's box fighting. I'm sure he'd clap me 10 out of 10 in 10 box fights, but doesn't get the result he wants, and another death with very few points in that game. Let's hop into game 5 and see what happens at the 15-minute mark. We find Zayt owning a building in Slurpy Swamp in the 3rd zone. Has a pretty great kit, has the heavy snipe. Could use a slightly better shotgun. But gaining control of this building. Pretty decent mats, good zone positioning. Not engaged in a fight. This player just walks into the building Zayt's in. Zayt a little slow getting that wall out. Gets hit hard by a shotgun, trying to heal up. This other player with the harpoon really getting in on Zayt. Takes Zayt's walls. Zayt trying to get out. Is able to pop the slurpfish, but I don't think this player is going to let him go. And a community favorite, friend to all, hero to many, Young Calc taking out Zayt in an aggressive box fight mid-game, and is rewarded for it. Ends up having full mats and has the launch pad and near max heal, so works out for Young Calc, and Zayt goes down again with very few placement points and no kills yet on day 2. Game 6 and 7, like game 1, Zayt gets close, but no cigar. Does rack up a decent amount of placement points in game 6. Let's see what prevents him from making the top 10. We find Zayt at the 21.5-minute mark in a box. Zone is starting to move towards that 6th zone from half and half. He does not have a pad. I'm guessing he's going to look to recycle one here. Haven't watched this yet. Does have the flopper and some heals. And yes, going over, being very careful about recycling this pad. 36 alive still. Looking to get near the front of zone. Will likely take this flopper the first chance he gets. Looking back for picks and then going to look to rotate into zone. Does get a good amount of mats there with the harpoon. Lucks into another pad, so despite not having any pads going into the moving zones, able to recycle 2. Low on health here, but is getting off some minis. 28 alive. Box is up, is getting sprayed, manages to edit out of the box. Tunneling towards zone here. Still a decent material situation with 26 builds left. Fully boxes up here, likely going to look for a pick out of this box and not get it. 16 alive. Hasn't found a pick yet, and with only 6 builds, he will be looking for it. Goes for the phase through the ramp play, not going to work out. Only 5 builds, looking everywhere for a pick, but nobody on his lair who is an easy target. And for this rotate to the west, going to need to get a pick there, and gets heavy sniped in on and taken down. No kills through 6 games. Let's check out how Zayt does at the 19-minute mark in Game 7. At the 19-minute mark, we find the 4th zone closing. Pulls far, Zayt does not have a launch pad, 44 alive. He did get a kill early game, the first kill of his day 2. quite an awkward mountain zone. He's looking to free rotate on these old builds. See if he can walk it in. Gets pretty lasered there. Takes the flopper. Smacked on his wall. He's probably going to want to take the slurp there. No. He does see that there's big pots. I'm guessing he's going to try and take the big pot. Does retreat. Looking to take the big pot. Gets the big pot off. Walking it in here to zone. Oh, doesn't want to fall down the hill like that, but does get back up. Oh, and just lasered by Spooks TNT. That's some incredibly good aim no matter what input you're using. Got to be a frustrating way to die for Zayt. And that is 7 of the 9 games he manages to play day 2. 1 kill and no top 10 finish. Let's recap. Game 1, Zayt makes it to endgame. Doing pretty well. He has a dead side rotate with not too many mats. And he ends up getting attacked by multiple enemies with AR spray and is finished off by a shotgun because he doesn't get the chance to heal up having been third partied. Game 2, he dies off spawn, loots a couple of floor spawns and a chest, and the best thing he gets is a burst AR and is killed by a player with excellent SMG tracking. Don't know the input there. Game 3, if I'm recalling correctly, is where he is rotating to a southeast zone coming out of Slurpee, gets headshot snipered by a player that Zayt didn't know existed. Nothing really you can do there. Game 4, he dies in an early game box fight. Game 5, he dies in a late game box fight. If I'm recalling correctly, to Young Calc. Again in Slurpee. Game 6, he uses all of his mats, does get 2 launchpad recycles, and eventually dies because he runs out of mats and nobody's really on his lair for him to be able to get an impact frag and get a refresh. And Game 7, don't know the input, but he got absolutely lasered by that epic or legendary assault rifle. So why did we go through this exercise? I went through it because I noticed this 8th game, he gets 4 kills in a first place, and I think without this 8th game, he may not have been in the top 80 to guarantee a spot in the grand finals of this FNCS Solos Invitational. A lot of players, if you go 7 games, don't make it into the top 10, you have 1 kill, you might feel like giving up. You might say, gee, I don't know if I have what it takes. Today's not my day. You get lasered a few times, and maybe you don't think aim assist is balanced. You start getting tilted at that. You blame that. You say the game's terrible, or you're frustrated. You don't want to go on. Zayt overcomes all that. Zayt says, you know what? I'm going to game 8. I'm going to win it. I'm going to get 4 kills. I'm going to qualify. And I think that's really a champion's mentality. So I made this video because while there are a few things you can learn from how he died, some of it avoidable, although frankly not too much of it was avoidable. I'd say some of those box fights, especially this early game 1, maybe he could have done that differently. Many of these are just things that happen in solos. You know, sometimes someone gets better RNG floor spawn than you. You know, you get your burst AR, he gets a SMG, and he's in your box. Sometimes you get third partied, even when you make the best rotate. Headshot sniped, not a lot you can do to avoid that. Another box fight where if he claimed a wall just a tiny bit sooner, might have gone better. So the 2 box fights really seem like the most he could have done. Here, you're pretty happy with that game in isolation. It's just with the previous 5, you're hoping to do better, hoping to get some kills. And that 7th game, that's an absolutely brutal way to go down. You finally got a kill on the day. You're getting some momentum, and just absolutely lasered from 200 to 0 by an AR. Zayt's not phased. He's gonna play the next game. He has the energy to make it happen and gets a victory royale with 4 kills. So next time you're feeling down and you're in the middle of a tournament, think about Zayt's tournament and, you know, run through the finish line. Play every game. If you're sitting down for the tournament, play every game. And if the final couple games go as badly as the first 6 or 7, okay, fine. You look at them and you improve from them. But maybe your chances will turn around like they did for Zayt. You just gotta stay strong mentally and do everything you can every game. So in the next video in this series, I will look at that 8th game and see what Zayt does to turn it around. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, share it with a friend, especially if you got a friend who can work on their mentality in Fortnite, in their mental game. If you really, really liked it, follow me on socials, and have an excellent day. Take care.